think I've gone, even upgraded our game a little further now, Nish.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Sharing one singular tab. How are you, my dear? Go on, hit the button, hit the button, hit the button. We all love the button being hit.
I'm going to play this for the last 2 minutes.
Okay, so I'm all good. This is work. I mean, famous last words, but it looks good. Looks all good to me.
Well, that's brilliant, Gary. And also, just if you're tuning in now, and if you're a teacher, if you're looking, Gary Orbin has joined us. I'm going to give him a full introduction shortly. But Gary's actually doing the whole stream from his mobile phone. So just again shows how you can use the technology, the flexibility. Obviously, if it all goes completely wrong, it all goes completely wrong. But for the time being, that's what we're going to try. So Gary's going to have a couple of minutes getting himself set and ready. Nish is going to play this countdown timer that we've absolutely adored, that we've taken from YouTube. I've got nothing coming from you, Nish, on the sound. Are you playing it?
I am now.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually. It's funny because I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just thinking we're just glad it was purple and it matches the background. And one day, Nish, we've also got to get the timer to actually go accurately and right. So now we're way too early on it. So should we just stop the timer?
It's also showing Thursday, Lauren.
I think it's Nish's screen. Can you cut Thursdays? Nish went into the future and decided to show us tomorrow instead.
I did. I'm so sorry.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for tuning in again to the Streaming School. Really, really pleased and proud to have my good friend, Mr. Gary Orbin, who has been a drama teacher for many, many years, very, very experienced. And Gary, you're looking forward slightly to the challenge of teaching online drama.
Absolutely. It's teaching with invisible students reacting in a way I know not how, but I hope I can provide something that everyone feels useful and in spite of missing school, as I'm sure everyone is at the moment.
Yeah, you're a gentleman. You're an absolute gentleman. Really looking forward. Right, the floor is yours, as they say, buddy. And yeah, anytime you want to switch between anything. And again, I just mentioned for the teachers here, Gary's actually doing the whole thing from his phone, so his switch is going to be completely up to him. So there might be a couple of seconds as he goes from one to the other. And yeah, just again, another great way and mobile way of actually delivering lessons from anywhere to anywhere.
Okay, so we'll get started. Okay, so my name is Gary Orbin. As Leon said, I'm a drama teacher. I teach at a school in London. It's very strange for me not having a school to go to the last couple of weeks, as I'm sure it is for you. And what I hope to provide here is something that is useful for you. I'm sure if you're studying drama, your drama teachers are providing work for you. That might be videos, or that might be plays to read, or slides to look through. But I hope that having something live really adds something to what you're studying. Now, in drama, of course, you might be studying different plays, different practitioners, and it'll be impossible to cater for all of those. But what I'll try to do is focus on skills. So focus on the skills for writing particularly, and for exams particularly, that will be helpful, whether you're whatever plays or whatever practitioners you're studying. You might be in Year 9 and about to go into a GCSE course in drama in September, and I'll hope to provide some really excellent preparation for you if it's the case. You might be in Year 10 and worried about a bit of missing classroom time. Try to help you there by keeping in touch with the curriculum and what the exam board asks for. You might be in Year 11 and thinking, I just have this hunger to learn drama that I'm not having fulfilled at the moment, and you want to keep learning. Or you might be even thinking about Year 12. If you're in Year 11 now, you're going to Year 12 next year. What I'm saying is really excellent preparation for you to make that step from GCSE to A level as well. So that's what I'll aim to do. I'll aim to keep it as engaging as possible. And as I say, I've been teaching drama in schools in London for about 12 years. And I've taught a range of exam boards. So whether you don't know what exam board your school does, or whether it's AQA, Edexcel, or Educast, or some of the others, there's a lot of overlaps, but also I believe I can provide something relevant to all of those. Okay, so this is where the technology bit gets either clever or totally disastrous, which you just see. if I just present my screen to you here, Leon, I believe you can hear me, and you might be able to give me some reassurance.
Yeah, I can hear you absolutely
3,
fine.
2, 1, and then
yep, it's moving across.
My children, for anyone who's interested, and here we have the slide. So I assume,
perfect.
Leon, you can hear me a verbal thumbs up. You can still hear me.
Yeah, perfect. Still see you, and it's gone across perfectly. Writing about acting.
Wonderful. Thanks very much, Laura. Great. So, okay, so we're going to start by talking about writing about acting. Clearly, over my phone to you, wherever you are, being able to develop your skills directly as an actor, writer, director, designer is going to be tough, but we'll do things that do support that. But helping you to write about those things for the purpose of exams, well, there's definitely some work we can do there to help you with that. So the first thing then is about acting and physical skills. So just 10 seconds, please, to think about what that means. If you're questioned in the exams about physical skills, what kind of things might you be writing about? Okay, so I've got a little list here. It's not exhaustive, it's not everything, but here goes. So in your, let's see the really clever bit here, you might be, there we go, and then we can write on this, not that we need to on this occasion, but check the works. So physical skills. Then the 6 examples I've given here to cover everything, but you might write about body language, gesture, about facial expression, movement, proxemics, and gaze. Get rid of that, move on. No, I don't want to bring you back. There we are. So we'll start by talking first about body language. So let's look at these people on the slide here and body language. So body language being the idea that you can tell a lot about a person by the way they carry themselves, the shape of their body, essentially. If you look at this person, 3 people from the right, what kind of body language do we get from her here? Well, her arms are folded, which doesn't suggest a great deal of warmth. She's facing away from us, again, which doesn't suggest a great deal of warmth there either. And compare her to this chap here. His feet are wide apart. He's facing us directly. He's got a gesture there. Okay, we're overlinking with gesture here, but his body language is open. His shoulders are back, his arms are wide. It suggests, I mean, I don't think I'd really like to spend time with this man, but it suggests that he's open, fairly inviting, fairly friendly. We'll get rid of that. Okay, gesture being the next one here. So a range of gestures here on the screen, but just really being anything you do with your hands or arms. If you're in year 11, going to year 12, perhaps some of this will be going over the basics, but please bear with me while we just get everyone on the same page and move on to some of the harder concepts. So useful revision, I'm sure. So gestures, anything you do with your arms, with your hands. Culturally, can mean different things in different countries and cultures, but there are overlaps. Someone with folded arms is likely to be saying that they don't really want to engage with you. Someone with their palms in an open gesture is likely much more friendly. And if someone's delivering a line, "Can I help you?" think about that line being said in exactly the same way, but with different gestures. With arms folded, "Can I help you?" Is it really meant? Or "Can I help you?" with palms out in front and open, then actually we think that's a genuine thing. So gesture can change the whole meaning of the line. Moving on to face expression. Now this seems very obvious, but we're talking about writing about drama and getting the most marks you can for those drama exams. So you could say for a grade 3, 4 that someone has a happy face expression, and that's not wrong. It's going to get high grade if you can describe that and put some subtlety to that. So you might say then that if someone is happy, and let's look at this top left picture just here. Well, when they're happy, actually, what does that look like? Well, it looks like those eyebrows are raised. Let's see if I can get onto this. Eyebrows raised there. It's wide-eyed, and it's got a welcoming, open mouth or excitable smile. So rather than just saying he's got a happy face expression, well, actually, it could be saying he had a wide-eyed face expression with eyebrows raised, excuse me, and an excitable, welcoming, open mouth smile. I'm sure you can see the difference there between grade 3, 4 and grade 7, 8, 9. Okay, so next on screen you should see movement. So we're talking about physical skills, remember, and we're going through our list here. So we're now to movement, the 4th one down. How does a character move across the stage? That's part of physical skills. So you might talk about moving with confident, bold strides. You might say that they're standing totally still, and actually that can give a character a lot of authority when they don't move around at all. Or you might say that they're nervously shuffling around the stage. Again, there's a slightly lower status there, isn't there? So how the character moves is vital to physical skills. And then proxemics. So what is this word? There it is, proxemics. Well, it's about where characters are in relation to each other on stage and the meaning that that communicates. Okay, so just to draw on this little diagram here, this first one here is the public space. So if you as an actor on the other side of the stage to the person you're talking to, well, that doesn't suggest any close relation, distance, some coldness between the two of you. If you are then in this one that I'll circle here, this is the social space. So typically when you're talking to people, you adopt a sort of sensible distance from them, don't you? About between 1 metre and 2 metres. That's sort of the unwritten rule, is that sort of friendly without being too close there. That's the social space. And then just to go a bit closer there into the personal space, you all may have heard someone say to you, you're invading my personal space, or get out my personal space. It's where there's this sort of invisible barrier, isn't there, where you're getting too close to someone. And I think as actors, what does that suggest when you invade someone's personal space? It could suggest intimacy and affection, but actually in many cases it suggests intimidation, and it suggests that you're trying to control, trying to manipulate someone perhaps. And then, of course, intimate space is that incredibly close. I don't think we need to go through that just here. Okay, after proxemics, then gaze. And gaze being slightly broader than eye contact, where it's not just are you looking at someone or not, it's are you looking at the ground? Are you dreamily looking off into the sky? Are you looking at someone, and are you making eye contact with someone or something else altogether? So gaze being what you do with your eyes, but a bit more broadly than just whether you're making eye contact or not. Can I have a little verbal reassurance?
Oh, everything's going great, Gary. I'm literally stunned. Sorry to pause, but I'm literally stunned at how you're managing to do all this from an iPhone, PowerPoint, face-to-face, and annotate. It's so smooth. Like this is.
Well, I shall certainly either the Wi-Fi will turn off shortly, or my phone will have or something. But we'll see. Get to 20 minutes before we celebrate. So let's look at potential exam questions then related to an actor's physical skills. So any question you might get here worth sort of 8 to 10 marks. When playing the role of whoever, how would you use your physical skills to communicate the character's intentions to an audience? Okay, when playing the role of whoever, how would you use your physical skills to communicate the character's intentions to an audience? So you've got your 6 options there. I've known people to write essay questions where they try and cover all 6 of these in one essay question, and actually what they end up doing is writing in a very shallow way. You might think it's great that you're showing off that you know all 6 of these, but actually what you do is in such little detail and no analysis and no depth that it's really hard to make that something that catches the examiner's eye and helps them to give you some grades. So better to pick 3. I think my rule of thumb. But before you pick those 3, there's something that's been missed firstly, which is let's start by answering the question. So how do you use your physical skills to communicate the character's intentions? So the first thing you need to tell me then here is what is the character's intention? And then once you've done that, we move on to picking those 3 that we want to focus on and writing some wonderful answers about. I'll give an example first. So when playing the role of whoever, how do you use your physical skills to show the status of the character in this extract? So status, high or low, and you need to answer that bit of the question before you go on to give your examples of those particular physical skills. And you can see the link there really clearly, I think. In terms of status, being high, lots of power and status, or low, very little power within the scene. Well, if you move with confident strides, you can think that that's going to clearly indicate status. If your gaze is constantly at the floor, well, that's going to show that you have a low status. If your hands are in your pockets throughout, that's likely to show that you have low status as well, depending on what you're doing with your movement and your body language. But you can see very clear ways in which you can answer that essay question, that exam question, by talking about physical skills. Now, it's going to be easier to talk about this with a particular play in mind. I picked one that I really liked. It's called DNA by Dennis Kelly. It's from, I think, 2008, and it was performed at the National Theatre as part of their Connections programme, which is plays written for young people, essentially. So whether you know it or not should be irrelevant. I'll try and make this really accessible for you, assuming that you don't know it, and if you do, that's great. So a short synopsis here then. So when a group of teenagers of another student goes too far, they are left with an unplanned death, Adam, on their conscience. So these people they thought just having a bit of fun, actually leaving this boy, and he ended up dying. It was an accident, but it was caused by their actions, okay? The mixed up group panic and decide to cover up their involvement in Adam's death. However, when they realize their deception has worked and actually brings peace to their confused lives, how do they move forwards? Okay, so this group of teenagers accidentally kill someone when a joke goes too far. They think we need to cover this up. And then a few days and weeks later, things are actually better. They're all getting on better. People are listening to them more. And they think, oh, well, maybe we should keep covering this up. And that's sort of the dilemma within the play, really. So as I said, whether you know it or not, I'll put something for you here that's very relevant, I do hope. So in this particular extract, I'll show you a bit of script in a second. So in this extract, Phil instructs two of the characters to take a character into the woods to kill them. Okay, so someone's already died, but then to cover it up further, Phil decides, you two go and kill this character called Brian. Okay, so that'll help it remain a cover up. And then Leah, this other character that we'll look at, pleads with him not to do so. And to give you a bit of background, Phil in this scene is cold, he's unwavering, so he doesn't change his mind, very determined, and he's authoritative, high status, I'm in charge kind of character here. And Leah, she's emotionally charged, so she's feeling very emotional, clearly, and understandably about this decision that someone else has got to die. She's very desperate, and she's pleading for him to change his mind. Okay, so let's look at this section of script here, and then think about how we'd answer a question about physical skills with this bit of script in mind. Okay, it starts with Phil saying, you just do what Kathy says. Okay, he's instructing there. And Brian says, I'm brilliant at doing what people say. He's the one who's going to get killed. Leah, no, stop, don't. Phil, what are you doing? What are you? Phil says, he's dead. Everyone thinks he's dead. What difference it makes? And then Leah stares at him. Leah says, but he's not dead. He's alive. And Kathy, who's going to kill Brian, says, come on, Brian. Brian's going to die. So this is brilliant. He doesn't know what's going on, clearly. And Leah says, no, Kathy, don't stop. Don't stop. Kathy. The stage direction is, but she goes, taking Brian with her. Leah turns to Phil. And Leah says, Phil, please, Phil. But Phil just walks away. I'm right all over that. I didn't do it yet. Never mind. But Phil just walks away. So that's the only section of script I wanted to look at. They're in the woods. It shouldn't matter whether you know this play or not. And we'll look at this exam question here. So when playing the role of Leah, okay, remind them that she's emotionally charged, desperate, she's pleading with Phil not to instruct this Kathy to kill Brian. When playing the role of Leah, how would you use your physical skills to communicate the character's intentions to an audience in this extract? So you might remember that we talked about the first thing you need to do is think, what are the intentions here? Just leave you in quiet for 10 seconds just to think, what are the intentions? What does this character of Leah want from Phil in this section of script? 10 seconds of quiet starting now. And the question is, what does Leah want? What are her intentions? And then the first thing I do writing this essay is write about her intentions here. So to plead with Phil not to instruct the others to go and kill Brian in the woods. Okay, so she wants him to change his mind about the instruction he's given to go and kill Brian. So then once you've answered that bit of the question, you think, okay, well, the answer question about physical skills, I know what the physical skills are. There's 6 in my head here. But I remember I've got to not write about these 6 of them. So I'm going to pick 3. And here's the 3 I've picked: gesture, proxemics, and gaze. Okay. So I'm playing the role of Leah. How would I use physical skills to communicate the character's intentions using gesture? I'd make desperate pleading gesture. Steady open. My arms would be, I'd throw my arms, I'm doing it now, you can't see it. I'm throwing my arms forward towards Phil. And I think that through my gesture, I can really help change his mind. That's one thing to say. Next thing's about proxemics. Okay, proxemics. Let's just rewind here a second to the proxemic slide. So moving from the public space into the social space, into the personal space. That's very close there. That man just to the left of the guy in the turquoise jumper. Okay, so going back to here, proxemics. What would I say about proxemics? Well, I said, as Leah's desperation increases, remember, she really doesn't want Phil to go and kill Brian, she moves closer towards him, essentially. But I'm using kind of drama terminology that helps an examiner to give me some big ticks and lots of marks. So she's moving from the public space to the social space and into Phil's personal space. So I'm saying there that as she gets more and more desperate, she moves closer towards him, essentially. Okay? So she starts far across the stage from him. As she gets more pleading with him, she moves into the social space. Let's look at the script. And then those last lines can really be in his personal space, perhaps her face inches away from his, as she says that last, please, please, Phil. Okay? And then the last one talks about gesture and proxemics. Then I talk about gaze. So with gaze, as in where I'm looking, what my eyes are doing, I start with my eyes fixed on Phil. So the first line here, if you don't mind me scrolling back and forth, Leah says, no, stop, don't, Phil, don't, what are you doing? What are you? So third line down. I've decided there that she should keep her eyes fixed on Phil, okay? Because she's trying to plead within there. The next thing of gaze, back gaze I'm saying there is, she looks to the floor as she realizes his immorality. She realizes that he's totally immoral. He's very happy for someone to order someone to go and kill someone else. And these are their friends. So she looks to the floor there as she realizes what's happening. And then after she's realized that he's a very evil man, she then stares with a wide-eyed intensity during her final plea. You see that the points are not particularly complex, but it's the way you write them and the terminology you use and the level of detail really helps you get those excellent grades. So staring with a wide-eyed intensity during her final plea, during the please Phil. So she's essentially just looking at him again, as I said earlier, but it's with a wide-eyed intensity. Her eyes are wide and she doesn't take her eyes off him. She doesn't even blink, let's say. Okay, in the short time we've got left, let's just think about developing that writing a bit more and how you write for drama in really nice paragraphs. And we will extend this in a future lesson. My point here about gestures. Do you see desperate pleading gestures? Palms open, arms beckoning forward towards Phil. So, actually, how would I write that in a paragraph? And I'm a big fan of using PEE, steal from English and other subjects, and use PEE for drama. I think it works brilliantly. So, point, evidence, and explain. But what does that look like for drama, which is PEE for other subjects? So, excuse me. It's I want to write a PEE paragraph about using gestures. So I don't want to leap straight into saying what my gestures are. And yet, so many people, I think the number one mistake is go straight into, these creative imaginative drama students, go straight into writing about what they want to do with their gestures. I want to have my arm forward, I want to throw them, I want to throttle the other or whatever you want to do. And that's great. But you're forgetting to make a point. You're forgetting to structure your answer beautifully. So you start with a point. You don't mention anything that she actually does. You just talk about why she's doing it. So the actor playing Leah can use gestures to show her desperation on the line, but he's not dead, he's alive. I haven't said what the gestures are yet. I've just said that gesture is going to be used. And I said what it's going to show her desperation, and on what line it's on as well. But he's not dead, he's alive. I'll keep that open with the evidence as well. Okay, so I've told you what I want to use gesture for, what the point of using gesture is in this line here. I then move on to my evidence. And the evidence in drama, of course, is saying what you're going to do, saying what does it look like. People who do write too much of an English lit essay in drama, they get very analytical, and Leon would love this as an English teacher, to go deep into the meaning of every single word. No, we don't want that. In drama, what does it look like? And what decisions do we make? How do we do it? Okay, so with the evidence then, it's along those lines. So the evidence here says, while saying the line, I would reach forward in a pleading gesture with my palms open, Phil change his mind about sending Brian to his death. Okay, so all I'm saying there is reach forwards. But you see the way I'm doing it gives a level of detail, a level of analysis, a level of really helping the examiner to see what you're doing that I think is very, very helpful. Palms open, beckoning gesture. And it shows that I understand the text as well, doesn't it? It shows that I'm saying about sending Brian to his death. It shows that I've really read the play, essentially, and I understand this extract. Okay, that's the point of the evidence. And then you explain it. You're really linking the point and the evidence in the explanation and make it about the audience. If you're not sure what the explain is about in drama, okay, audience. So it goes where I explained it here. This gesture would indicate to the audience the fear and desperation that Leah faces. Such gestures would help the audience to sympathise with her position, alienating the character of Phil. So we're allowed to get a little bit English litty here, which I know that Mr. Haley will be very happy about. And we're talking about gestures and what they say to an audience. And you about to tell me what you've been time?
Yeah, no, it's perfect, Gary. Yeah, like, take as long as you want, buddy. We have hit 20 minutes, but take as long as you want.
Good stuff. Well, we'll go on to the last couple of slides here, which is more if you want to extend this yourself. So these slides are, I'm sure, being made available in the way that Leon can explain through whatever you're watching this on. So you can go back if you like to and find the script extract here, find the exact list of physical skills, what they need, and sort of what I'm recommending, how I'm recommending you structure your paragraphs. My year 11s in my class were very used to me talking along these lines. And what PE means for drama here, what the difference is between point, evidence, explain as a theatre and drama student. If you would like to do a bit more yourself then, so if you'd like to learn a bit more about DNA and the characters, and I will talk about DNA in future videos, it'd be really helpful if you can. There's a videoed performance here. Oh, sorry, the first thing actually is about a very high quality production of DNA, professional production, and these videos are really excellent quality of people. Introduction really, about 5 minutes, I think, to the characters in DNA. So I recommend you watch that. And then if you want to see a bit of the production, it's not the same one as the first video, unfortunately, that's not available, but it's a theatre company who do a decent job of this performance of DNA. And I've just shown you really where the section is that has this section of script in. Okay, so if you want to watch this bit in particular and a bit around it, a bit forwards and backwards from it, watch from 46 minutes until the end. It's about 10 minutes. And then I've put some exam questions there if you'd like to do them. Number one, very typical format question, name 4 physical skills an actor can use on stage. And I hope if you've learned nothing else in this video, you could do this one in your sleep. And then number 2, I've changed it slightly. I've given other examples, but if you want one we haven't worked through together, as an actor playing Phil, who's the only male, if you want to watch that clip, he's the only male actor in there. As an actor playing Phil or Leah, how do you use your physical skills to communicate their status to the audience and in this extract? 8 marks. I recommend you pick 3 physical skills and write them in that PE paragraph that I've recommended here. Okay, that's all from me. And I wonder if I can stop my screen there. And I should appear back any second now, only nothing else, just to say goodbye.
Yeah, no, that's what we want, Gail. We want you to come back.
There I am. I use my camera back on. And there we are. I think smooth through some of that technology and then live away with it at the end. But can you see me again now? Am I here?
Yeah, I can see and hear you perfectly, Gary. And just for the teachers, watching. Obviously, I've known you a long time. I know how much of a brilliant classroom practitioner you are. Oh, but obviously, this is one of your first online lessons, isn't it?
Yeah, very first one. Yeah, first time doing this without 30 or something children in front of me. So.
And just obviously for the teachers watching, obviously just so they could get an idea, how did it feel? What are your first initial thoughts?
Well, it's something that clearly feedback can be really useful. So if you are a student and you've watched this and you're able just to say, no, do less of this or more of that, that'll be really, really useful feedback. So please don't be shy if you are watching this as a student and want to suggest ways that I could do that a bit differently. Very open to feedback, and no offense taken. And no, it's great. Obviously, I have no awareness really of its usefulness. And clearly in a lesson, you're used to stopping and answering questions to check people's understanding all the time, and you don't get that luxury here. But I hope it's been very useful. And I'm back tomorrow to do one. The timetable will be up, and then again from here on in for the coming weeks.
Super. Thank you so much, Gary. Well, it was superb. We all really, really enjoyed it, and yeah, I really look forward to chatting to you later and seeing you tomorrow, my friend.
Pleasure, Leah. I look forward to your feedback.
Love to the family, buddy.
Well, thank you very much. You too. All the best. Bye.
Bye. Hey, Nish, I don't know whether you're here or there or going or coming. I have no idea where you are, my dear.
I'm here. Connection's a bit ropey, but I'm here.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, cool. So shall we go to your presentation?
Yep, I'm going to share again.
That was, honestly, okay, I know I said it, I texted you while it was on, but that live stream was just going, he taught the whole lesson from his phone. Face-to-face,
yeah, it's
slides,
amazing.
Everything was from his phone. That was... Like, just imagine if every teacher did that, or if every teacher just had that, because we've got like, I think we had like 85 people watching different parts of that lesson. So it's just like you can teach everyone, just like how you would have taught with a whiteboard, but now you can do it off your phone. That's crazy.
Just on your phone, yeah. It's amazing.
Brilliant. Yeah, do you want to take us through where we are now?
Yeah, cool. So these are the optional tasks for the end of this session. Again, parents, please get involved as well. It'd be great. So Gary did mention it, but it's just watching the video. I will post the links on Facebook as well. Just watching the end of the video from 46 minutes. And then there are 2 questions that he's put in, exam-style questions that he's put in that you can answer. The first one is name 4 physical skills an actor can use on stage. And then the second one is, as an actor playing Phil or Leah, how would you use your physical skills to communicate their status to the audience?
Brilliant. And what have we got to look forward to tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we actually have, what do we have all together? I have to get it up, Leon, I'm very sorry.
No worries at all. I thought you were just going to go back one slide.
It goes back to the slide before, which is not what's tomorrow. So tomorrow we have drama, then PE, and then science.
Wonderful. I think
All after our one for motivation in the morning.
There's a pleasure of a Spanish lesson in there as well tomorrow. So we're gonna get that one as well. But yeah, Nish, honestly, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to help out today and obviously put all the links up on all the different places. I hope it's of use. And today's day 3. I'm already looking like yesterday. I think Monday we had 80 something people on. Yesterday we had over 300. I've seen today we've had over 200, and wonder what we'll have by the end of the day. Hopefully, yes. As long as it's helping even one person, even if it is just to do, I am amazing, then we've done something good.
Exactly.
God bless you, my dear. I'll catch you in a bit.
Yep, see you in a bit.